Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us and welcome to the fourth episode of the Young African Leaders in Energy and Sustainability series. Hashtag YALES. I'm very delighted to be your host for this series, which is a platform to showcase uh, the work, the amazing work done by young energy leaders across Africa. And it's also an opportunity for them to present their initiatives in the energy sector. During each episode, we invite a different guest so that they tell us more, share their story about how they are contributing to advance the energy sector across the continent. So our guest for today comes from Cameroon. She's a rural development expert and a clean energy advocate with over 7 years of experience implementing projects for local organizations and the state of Cameroon. Welcome, Mrs. Jaff, Epse, Bime, Marilyn, Bongmo. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this episode.
Thank you very much, Fatou. I'm pleased to be in this episode today. Thank you.
Excellent. So let's start by you telling us more about your role within the Ministry of Water Resources and Energy in Cameroon.
Oh, all right. So I'm a rural engineer at the Ministry of Water Resources and Energy in Cameroon. I'm actually at the decentralized services. I was at the regional delegation in the West region, but then I recently was moved to the divisional delegation. It's a division in the West region called the Noon Division. And so I intervened while at the region, I was working mostly with the water projects, implementing water projects in the region. But then now at the divisional level, I'm in the service of energy, where I'm mostly involved with energy projects. As of this year, we've actually been working on the updating the electricity master plan, where we've done a lot of field work, going to the field, collecting data, the areas that are unelectrified and what are the needs, and the areas that are electrified, what is the shortage, what are the shortages, and how can this be improved. So it's basically what we've been doing throughout this year. But then also my work also involves working with the enterprises or the contractors that are contracted to implement the public investment budget for this division.
Okay, no, that's interesting that you're actually part of the team updating the country's electricity master plan. It's actually good to see that young people take part, an active part in national development strategies. And I actually trust that you being part of that team, you will ensure that all the policies take into account the use of clean energy practices, sustainable practices. So, in addition to your work at the ministry, you also train agropastoral entrepreneurs on agricultural mechanization and engine mechanics,
Yeah.
like a vocational training support program. The program is called Programme d'appui à la formation professionnelle. So I'd like to know, like, what is like the average profile of the trainees that you encounter throughout this program?
Oh, okay. So concerning the Programme d'appui à la formation professionnelle, it's actually called PCP AFOP. So the trainees I meet there, they have diverse ages, because there are those that are still coming from secondary school, and there are those that are already in the field. Maybe they're coming back to upskill for specific reasons, because at times some people are in the field and maybe they want to get a particular skill, maybe in mechanization or maybe in livestock, like in rearing maybe fowls or fish, so they come back. But then mostly the average profile, they are just students coming out of secondary school and the high school. So it's like between the ages of 16 to 22. And then maybe others that are above that age are those that are coming back for upskilling.
Okay, that's good. Actually, that's good because we see that it's mostly young people. So is it like, is there a mechanism to like after they complete the training for them to be like inserted in the job market, or like how is the follow-up after they complete the training?
Oh, there's a very wide market for them actually. There is, first of all, there is the government recruitment exams, which they can write and become civil servants. Then also, there is the program itself, PCP AFOP. There is a section where they call it install the young graduates. You write your project. If your project is if it's bankable, they'll finance it. A lot of trainees have actually benefited from that project. Then there are also other programs within the government which are involved with installing the young graduates. And also there is a possibility for those that maybe want to continue academia and research. They get into professional training, higher institutions, like continue with that degree program for 1 year or continue with an engineering program for the next 3 or 4 years.
Oh, that's very interesting. At least, they have something to do, and like there's a wide, variety of things that they could do after the training, which is good. In terms of
Yeah.
gender, like, is it like, how is it gender balance? Like how many, like, do you have more men, more women, like in the training program?
Oh, all right. Okay, thank you. Generally there is this concept that women always feel like maybe some domains or some sectors are not really for them. And worse still, where I am located, where the school is located in the Noon division, it's a Muslim community. And with the Muslims, they really don't believe in the girl child education. So it's really difficult having more women. Averagely we have more men. The men are like maybe 60%, some sections are like maybe 70%. And but then the government tries to do what they call regional balance, getting as many people from all the 10 regions of the country, so that it should be balanced, like it should not be centered just on a particular region or some particular areas. But gender balance, the men are generally higher than the women.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. That's like some of the challenge that you encounter. It's pretty understandable, and it's good that the government at least try to find means to, raise more awareness so that we can have more women interested and involved in the sector. So,
Yeah.
when you were leading the implementation of the agricultural mechanization strategy for the Northwest Development Authorities, did some of the techniques that were adopted include sustainable practices such as using mechanization techniques that favor the use of clean energy?
Oh, yes, definitely. Just before I left the Northwest Development Authority, I was developing the biogas strategy, which was going to be implemented in the rural communities in the Northwest region, because actually an organization based in the Northwest region of Cameroon. So, and then also with the mechanization strategy, well, for now we know Africa as a whole, it's taking like it's a gradual process with the transition. So mechanization mostly was still using fossil fuels,
Mhm.
because the tractors that were being dispatched to the villages for the farmers to have access were still using the diesel. So, but then there were programs to retrain them and maybe upgrade their skills on how to use those fuels efficiently to reduce the climate impact or the environmental impact of these fuels. So it's still a gradual process. But then currently they are working on a certain strategy to be implementing solar systems equally in most of the unelectrified villages.
Oh, okay. That's good to know that, so it's like a gradual process, and we hope that we'll be following that to see, how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you participated in the Open Africa Power Program of 2018. So, can you tell us more, like, what is the program about, and how was your experience within the program? How did it help you actually enhance your professional career?
Okay, so the Open Africa Power Program is a program organized by NL Foundation. It's an organization in Italy, and the aim is to forge a new generation of African leaders in the clean energy sector. It started in 2018, so I was actually in the second cohort. And the program was, I can say that was my starting point for my career in the clean energy sector, because it was from there that I saw exactly what the world is, at what level the world is right now, and what is at stake and how we're supposed to intervene as young people to make sure that tomorrow Africa is also at the same pace with the other continents, or maybe it's moving fast as well to attain the level of other continents. We know it cannot be the same in all continents, but definitely it's a program aimed at fast forwarding the transition into clean energy in Africa. And the program was so diverse. It brought 60 young people from all over Africa, and we met at Addis Ababa in Ethiopia, where we had a 1 week intensive training from top international experts in the clean energy sector. And from there, we had a 6 month online course. It was actually a master's certification from the Florence School of Regulation in Italy, where we were trained on universal access to energy. It was a really intensive course. Like it's like a master. It's like a master's degree. I want to put it that way.
The whole degree itself.
Yeah, it's a whole degree on its own, because it was so intense. But then I think from that experience, I was able to determine exactly what I want to do, how I want to get more youths involved in the clean energy sector, what is in the energy sector, in the clean energy sector for the youth, what are their prospects, what should they think, what should they expect if they are joining this sector.
Wow. So you will recommend like any like young aspiring energy leader or advocate to like apply or to be part of such program, because you've learned a lot. It builds your knowledge, experience, and you're also able to meet experts, to like have extend your network, which is very good. And it's like those are things that we actually hope young people to take part of. And I hope that is the program like on an annual basis or
Yeah, it's annual. It's annual. Currently, the 2021 cohort is ongoing. Unfortunately, due to COVID-19, theirs is online. But then it's annual, and I think as the years go by, they select more students. I'll actually advise every young person, because the program takes up to, I think, 35 years. So
okay.
anybody that is 35 and below can apply for the program, and the person will definitely learn a lot. And I encourage a lot of those that are in academia, that maybe are doing research, because the program targets a lot on maybe masters and PhD students involved in the energy sector. And I mean, it was a program that developed my first network in the energy sector. Like, I got a lot of networking from there, a lot of connections, and a lot of them which are still very useful to me right now. I do a lot of things from the Open Africa Power Program. I've gotten a lot of opportunities from there.
Very inspiring. Um, as you are a member of the technical working group on energy transition for the UN's high-level dialogue on energy for this year. So can you share with us what is your specific role, and what are some of the recommendations that were taken from the different consultations?
All right, thank you. Yes, I was part of the technical working group too, which was on energy transition for the UN's high level dialogue on energy. And I worked with so many experts in the energy sector. I got to learn a lot. What we did was we developed a document, a lot of policy recommendations, which are going to be taken up to the high level dialogue on energy this September in New York. And as a summary, the technical working group had a total of 11 key recommendations, and there are a lot of prospects for youth, because some of the recommendations are talking about how youth projects should be financed, and how governments should be able to shift their policies to include youth activities, and also encourage research and investment in the energy sector, how they should open up. So I mean, it's it's a very good, it was a very good avenue equally to learn a lot. And I believe the recommendations that were being developed when they were taken up to the high level dialogue, a lot of governments and organizations are definitely going to adapt or make commitments with regards to this. And a lot of youths are going to benefit from that. It's very promising.
Yeah, those are very useful recommendation, and we actually hope that there will be actually taken into account into national development strategies of the country, especially that they include the youth perspective. Uh,
Yeah.
Another question before we wrap up. So, what would you advise to young people who aspire to be more involved with advocacy? As you are a very good advocate in clean energy, so what would you advise? How would you advise over young people who are hoping to follow your path? How can they raise more awareness within their respective communities?
Okay, so to every young person who is aspiring to be an advocate in clean energy, the first thing is do a lot of research, do a lot of studies, try to get always make sure you're studying, getting current trends, understanding what's happening, the reports that are being published on the energy sector, what is happening. Secondly, network a lot. Try to join organizations or constituencies where you meet a lot of experts, a lot of diverse profiles, and understand what is happening in other regions, other countries, other communities. Networking is one of the key steps to developing an advocacy career. And also be very curious. You need to be really curious, trying to know exactly what you want to do, what sector in advocacy do you want to take partake in. And in that process, you need to have mentors. You need to get mentors who can be able to mentor you on your path, your and maybe opportunities. So those are some of the recommendations. And also, what I'll say is be very proactive. Be very proactive, and volunteer. Another thing is volunteering. Most youths nowadays expect that everything they do they're supposed to have a pay for that. It doesn't work that way. You need to first volunteer, show that you're able to do this, show your skills, upgrade your skills before, and be able to build confidence before people can be able to invest in you. So volunteer a lot to be able to prove yourself, prove your worth. It's very important.
Wow, those are very wonderful advice and tips. What we can take from it is do your research, network, be involved, look for mentors, and don't be afraid to volunteer, because that's how you will develop, you build your network, which will help you move from where you are looking to go, because we never know who we can meet
Yeah.
during those conferences. So those are
That's
very,
very true. You never know. Most
yeah,
of the opportunities I've had in the energy sector were from volunteering. Like you
exactly.
just you're just being curious. You ask a question, and you talk to somebody, and the next minute you're already having an opportunity that proposes to you something. Yeah.
Yeah, no, those are very good advice. We hope that our audience will take good notes, and it would actually help young people build, like, having a more impact in the communities. So we had a very interesting conversation with Jaff. We learned a lot on the valuable contribution in the implementation of national development strategies pertaining to electricity, agricultural mechanization strategy, and also as a role in a clean energy advocate within the SDG 7 and the working group of the UN high-level dialogue on energy. Thank you very much, Jaff, for sharing with us your amazing story. You did a lot, your amazing contribution. I encourage you to keep up with the good work, because you are representing all of us African well. I hopefully motivate again many, keep motivating young people to get involved in the energy sector and adopt clean
Yeah.
practices. I hope that our audience will really enjoy this episode as much as I did. Thank you again for watching, and see you on the next episode. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone. Thank you.